Hello guys, this is Sudwala Cave, South Africa. Our guide will show us inside the cave. We are going inside. I will show you step by step. Okay?
No, but whenever we came, we used to find so many people.
This is the reception. You need to pay 100 per adults and 60 for children. So we will go inside.
When will be the busy days come? Around
another 2 months end, because there will be a holiday. So it won't be this day, that day, on the 27th of this month. Yes. So firstly, I would like to welcome you to the Sudwala Caves. My name is Kosinati. I will be able to call you. I will be your tour guide today. But before we start, there are a few rules I must share with you. Firstly, you are all welcome to take photos however we want. However, we have some parts inside the cave which are sensitive to camera flashes. So please do not photograph them should we see in. Okay. Most importantly, ask that do not touch any cultural information of the cave, because by doing so, we will be disturbing their growth. Lastly, we ask that you do not smoke or litter in the cave. Okay. We'll go in on this top for 600 meters. We go upright most of the way. Our cave floor can be slippery in some places, so please walk slowly and carefully. Towards the end, there is bending involved, which is optional. So we have now entered our cave, of which the basic rock structure around us is called the Dolomite rock. Dolomite is a sedimentary rock formed 2,500 years ago in the Precambrian time period, when the lower area was covered by water. The rock consists of minerals, calcium, magnesium, and manganese oxide. The other local name for Dolomite rock is elephant skin rock, as it has the light grey, wrinkled texture of an elephant skin. About these black marks you are seeing over here are called soot marks. They are left over from the fire built by the Swazi people who used this cave as a refuge in the time of wars in the 8th and mid-1800s. At the stage, one group would hide inside the cave while other group outside tried to suffocate them by putting a massive bonfire at the entrance of our cave. However, the plan did not succeed, as our cave has a strong flow of fresh air coming through it all the time. And the airflow blew the smoke out so that those who were inside, they were safe at that time. But I will tell you more about the human history later. About this first formation here in front of us is called the Lowveld Rocket because of its appearance. It consists of stalactite from above, joining stalagmite from below, and is partly covered by flowstone formation. It is 14 meters in height and 2.5 meters in diameter. The average growth for a formation in this cave is 2.5 centimeters every 100 years. All the formations still active in this cave depending on the amount of rains coming through the cracks of our Dolomite rock. We are currently 6 meters below the surface of the mountain at the moment. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the rainwater to permeate through our Dolomite rock. Are we still okay? Yeah. We can proceed.
listen what he says.
So here are the bars which are sensitive to camera flashes. Okay. We are no longer having this one, but only these two. We call them the greater horseshoe part and the lesser horseshoe part. Their correct biological names are Rhinolophus hildebrand and Rhinolophus linderi. They eat insects like mosquitoes. Oh. They weigh about 8 to 10 grams. So in one night of feeding, they can eat up to 3 times of their body weight, which translates to 600 mosquitoes in an hour. Okay. Their average lifespan is 30 years. There are over 950 species of birds around the world.
We need these type of creases in our city. They will eat all the mosquitoes. Yeah.
Maybe I can catch some for you so that I can help you back home.
Yeah. I will adopt one.
And you don't have to pay them.
No,
They work for you 30 years. Since you said the average life, they live 30 years.
So here we have our small stalactite, also called the baby.
Yes.
It is still active depending on the amount of rains we have. You may remember I've said the average growth for formation in this cave is 2.5 centimeter every 100 years. So can you please guess the age of it?
Might be 200 something years.
200?
1,000 years?
Oh,
No,
too
no.
much.
No? Okay.
300 years.
300 years.
Yes.
Okay.
The question is again, how does it grow?
Okay.
I thought it's 5 centimeters. So
Yeah. So when it rains, the rainwater will slowly seep through the soil on top of the mountain.
Okay.
And the soil is rich in compost because of the bacterial decay. The water will absorb carbon dioxide from the soil, which results into carbonic acid. So the water coming through the cracks of our rock is therefore acidic. So when the acidic water comes into contact with the calcium of our dolomite rock, it then dissolves the calcium. So the drop of water imaged from the ceiling of the mountain is therefore rich in calcium. In order for it to grow, the drop of water should remain on top there for a couple of hours to give the water time to dry up or evaporate, deposit the ring of calcium around the circumference of our small stalactite.
okay.
So the next drop of water will do the same thing, and our stalactite will then start to grow slowly in rings by rings.
Yes.
It forms a hollow tube which fills up. When you cut it, it has the rings like a tree, and those rings are called concentric structure.
And this one?
Is the fluorescent formation. The extra drop, the extra waterfalls carries extra calcium into the flow of our cave. That's when
Yes,
stalagmite
yeah.
starts to form. And here we have our fluorescent formation, which differs from this one. Remember, this one forms rings and has concentric
Yes.
structure, but this one needs slow flowing water, no fast dripping water. Deposit calcium around its layers, not in rings like this one. Our fluorescent formation inner structure is porous. When you hit it, it makes a hollow nose, carries throughout the rock at the rate of 1,500 meters per second.
Okay.
It was back then used as an alarm system by the Swazi people who used this cave as a refuge in the time of wars in the early and mid-1800s. It was later then given the name of Somkubasgong after the leader of the Swazi people. So I'm now going to demonstrate the sound of our fluorescent formation and our dolomite rock.
Okay.
Yes. So at the stage, there were a captain at the entrance of our cave, spotting everything happening outside. So whenever he saw danger coming, he will quickly run and hit the fluorescent formation. So those who were inside, they will be alert of the danger coming. The sound of our dolomite rock. Obvious, nothing can be here. Our fluorescent formation. Remember, the sound travels about 1,500 meters per second.
So everybody will be alerted immediately.
Yes. So anyone who would like to try to hit it is free of charge.
Yeah.
Ni bener ya?
You cannot do
No, at this point.
at this point, huh? You see? You want to try? You can hold there.
Don't you want to try it? So around us, can you see those excavations?
Yes.
Well, those excavations were done in the early 1900s by the prospectors who had came to search a cave for the famous Kuka museum.
What did they get for to search?
To search the caves for the famous Kuka museums.
Kulka millions.
Yes, there are those coins called Kuka coins.
Kulka coins.
Yeah, that's what they came here to say. So during the Anglo-Boer War, the Boer had used the cave to hide ammunition for the long-term cannon. Therefore, after the war, many believed that they might have hidden golds inside the cave. However, the only thing of value found by the prospectors was only bad droppings or guano. It is also called the black gold, as it is valuable fertilizer. So years later, the prospectors had excavated about 10,000 tons of the black gold and sold it as fertilizer to the farmers of Crocodileville, which led on Mpumalanga to be so green today. Above here, can you see those black marks?
Yes.
They are called chart layer.
Okay.
You may remember I've said Over the years, the low fate area was covered by warm shallow inland sea. The only plant existed at that time was only primitive algae plant.
Okay.
So the water of shallow sea will sometimes dry up, leaving behind a layer of chart sticking out everywhere.
I see. So these algae must be, maybe millions of years ago.
Yes, but the shallow sea water will sometimes dry up, leaving behind a layer of slime algae which will settle on the bottom of the drying seabed, mixing with other accumulated sediment to form a layer which will be slowly hardened. So as time passes by, the water will still return, deposit still more sediment on top of the previous layers. So by further geological movement on the Euphrates, the ancient seabed will lifted and the shallow sea water swept away. So the acidic groundwater started to make its way into the cracks of our rock, and slowly started to dissolve the rock, creating a series of other frontier rock which will fill up and empty again. So by 200 years ago, the water level dropped slowly enough for formations like stalactite to start to form in our cave. So in the scale of hardness, which goes from 1 to 10, our dolomite rock only scored 5, while our chert layer scored 7, which makes it much harder than our dolomite rock. So when the cave eroded out, the dolomite rock eroded faster as it is soft, leaving behind a layer of chert sticking out everywhere. I'm now going to show you the most beautiful map of Africa naturally formed along with those chert layers. You can just follow my torchlight from here.
Africa map or
Okay, point here.
Yeah, you see, all this is,
Hey, exactly.
Well, that's where it ends. Can you go back again?
Yeah. It's Africa map. It's East Africa.
Natural form
Natural
along
form.
those chairs.
South Africa.
Point, that is ourselves, yeah.
That's where
East
it
Africa.
ends.
Yeah. Yeah, it's naturally found.
Yes, can I please proceed? So here, can you see those hangings over there? Can you please guess what are those hangings?
River, ocean order.
Those hangings over here?
No.
Well, they are tree roots from a wild fig tree.
Okay.
Those roots have been penetrated about 11 meters of our dolomite rock looking forward. And the tree is still growing on top of the mountain.
Oh, okay.
And here we have our stalagmite formations called the tree praying nuns. Over the years, there were no chance for the stalactites to form from above, as when it rains, the water drips too fast. So when the water drips too fast, our stalagmite will have to form from below. But in order for the stalactite to form, it needs slow flowing water, not fast dripping water. And ideally of one drop every couple of hours. These roots have also increased the cracks of our dolomite rock. That's why today, when it rains, the water drips too fast at this point. Our three praying nuns have been praying for 40 million years. And this fourth nun here gave up on praying and drank all the communion wine.
So those are the roots coming from the top, correct?
Yes.
That tree is still growing, huh?
Yeah, on top of the mountain. So here we have our small amphitheater. Unfortunately, it is no longer in use as it suffered damages during the recent rains.
Okay.
But we do have our main amphitheater where we will be able to sing something together. Yes.
The cave, the zip line, the dinosaur park, and then yeah, basically from the gate.
So here we have our screaming monster.
Screaming monster, yeah.
The screaming monster is a combination of stalactite, stalagmite, and flowstone formation, which is 160 million years old. So every year, Sudwala Cave hosts 21-kilometer race called the Race of the Screaming Monster, and the part of the race goes through our cave.
So these are also the roots of the tree, am I correct?
Yes. And this is the only cave around the world where there is a running race inside the actual cave. The entries of the runners is 250 runners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you're up for challenge, you can try the Race of the Screaming Monster. And here we have our flowstone formation called the Magnum ice cream for obvious reason.
Yeah.
The flowstone formation just like some Tuba's Kong. The chocolate brown color is the mineral manganese. So minerals like manganese and iron make Sudwala Cave dolomite rock to be different from Kengo Caves limestone or European caves which are limestone.
Yes.
Kengo Caves limestone are usually formed 200 million years ago, which makes it to be much younger than Sudwala Caves dolomite rock. The formation of Kengo Caves limestone are built from accumulation of shells and the remains of dead sea creatures. So when Sudwala Caves was formed, the only life existed at that time was only primitive algae plant. There is less calcium in Sudwala Cave dolomite rock. Our flowstone formation also discolored due to the minerals like manganese and iron which are present. The formation of our flowstone formation grow far more slowly than the formation in Kengo Caves limestone. However, this one is the oldest one. So here, through the shade of our flowstone formation, there is an image. I don't know if we can all see it.
Yes, you can see.
What do we see?
We see
Like a human.
Face of a human.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then come at this point and look at it again. If you can see any difference.
Yeah, he is screaming. No, he is looking upside.
No, it's like a cow or some deer or something.
What's
like
about
that.
a baboon?
Huh?
What's about a baboon?
Baboon. Yeah, yes.
Yes.
From here you can see Kwarangma River.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can.
It reflects through our flowstone formation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Can you please proceed?
But for me, it's actually look like that person is looking up. Water.
You may remember outside I will tell you more about the human history later. Yes. So here are the artifacts left in the cave by the Swazi people. Are the artifacts left in the cave by the Swazi people. When Soposa, the king of the Swazis, died, a dispute arose to the leadership of the Swazi people. The rightful heir to the throne was Mswati, but he was still a young boy at the age of 11 years old when his father died, and he was too young to take over the throne. It was then decided that one of his old half brothers, Somtuba, would act as regent until young Mswati reached the age of 16 years old. When the time came, Somtuba had gained much wealth and refused to return back the throne to his younger brother, Mswati. He was later then forced to flee away from the Swaziland area. In doing so, he stole about 500 cows from his younger brother. He later then relocated about 10 kilometers away from this cave near Crocodile Reef. But Somtuba would come to learn of the cave's existence from the Pedi people who were the local people at that time, knowing that his younger brother Mswati would eventually come and attack him. But Somtuba saw potential of using this cave as hideout, and he had it stocked with enough food. So when it came that Mswati and his soldiers or a war with drawn clothes, Somtuba and his people of 2,000 followers retreated in this cave. It was a good plan because they had enough food, there's a lot of water availability here, and they can stay safely in the cave for a couple of weeks. Mswati soldiers could not enter the cave to fight, as when it was too dark they could not see. But they never gave up. They built a massive bonfire at the entrance of our cave and tried to suffocate Somtuba and his people. But the plan did not succeed, as the cave had strong flow of fresh air coming through it all the time. And the airflow blew the smoke out so that Somtuba and his people were safe at that time. But around 1855, Somtuba was finally killed as a surprise attack at his village by Mswati's warriors. So after that, Mswati was proclaimed as the rightful king for the Swazi people. The oldest artifact found in the cave was a stone tool, so that we know the cave was found and used thousands of years ago as a shelter by Stone Age men. The name of our cave, Sudwala, is taken from Chief Induna or Captain of Somtuba, who was left to protect the entrance of the cave. The name pronounced in Swazi Sudwala, the name means the grass skirt of a married woman.
Okay.
So here we have a baboon tail bush tree. It was used by the Swazi people for torches. They could break off a branch from this tree and hit the end with a rock until it becomes fibrous and dip it in a melted animal fat or beeswax. They also had small fire burners to give light, warmth, and to cook on. And this currently could burn for an hour.
Oh.
So I think we're going back to this formation since load shedding is with
Yeah.
So here you have our small grinding stone. Some people say it was also used to start fire. Under it they could place a dry grass or tinder and rub off a piece of hardwood between the palm of the hands until the friction caused hot coal. But this plan could take some quite long time, unlike that one. Okay. It was also used to grind medicinal plants or herbs. And here we have our whetting stone or sharpening stone. It was used by the Swazi warriors to sharpen their
spears.
Yes. And here we have our large grinding stone. It was used by the Swazi woman to grind their maize or peanuts.
In India, we still have this type of...
Oh, okay, so you still use it?
Yes, yes.
Wow. So about those clays here was used to fetch water, beverages, and vegetables.
Okay.
Yes. About these bones here are hippo bones. We never had hippos. We are just trying to modify the place. Yes. No question about the human history and artifacts?
No.
Okay, we can then proceed.
All clear.
I wanted to know about the lights, what they do, because if there is no light, people here, how would they see other people?
No, you did not know about the baboon tail bush.
Last time you might have told, but I forgot. This is what I wanted to ask, what eventually you told.
Oh, yeah.
This one, bat they call it. So those bats are not around here, huh?
No, if we are lucky, we will see them.
Okay.
So in our cave, we do not have the snakes, as it is difficult for them to prevent fire. There is no really food here. Yes. The temperature remains at 70 degrees throughout the day.
17?
Yes. The only life forms here are the birds, insects like spiders, cockroaches, monkfish, and crickets. The only snake we do have in our cave is our rock python.
Rock python snake, yeah.
This is the only snake we do have, our rock python. And our rock python was fed through this frog here.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we are now entering our main amphitheater. We have entered our main amphitheater. If you wish, you are welcome to have a seat and relax for a moment.
Okay.
This is the largest Dolomite hall in the southern hemisphere. The height of our hall is 37 meters and 70 meters in diameter. We can comfortably seat 350 people over the seats. And here is the stage where artists can perform. Our hall has excellent acoustics and sometimes performances take place in here. So the Dolomite rock absorbs sound so that there is no echo in our hall. There are approximately 6 kilometers of passages across Sudwala Cave and they are not yet found anywhere. Within the cave in Sudwala, we continue to explore on regular basis. Just to compare, Cave of Samson have about 8 kilometers of passages explored. The cave with longest length in South Africa are Eco Caves near Oryxstad with about 16 kilometers of passages explored. Just for interest, the biggest cave worldwide are Mammoth Caves in America, Kentucky, with about 648 kilometers of passages explored. So Sudwala Caves may not be the biggest, but the oldest known worldwide. So here's the stage for any of you who would like to test the acoustics by singing a song for.
No, we don't sing.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But the little
My
angel,
daughter,
maybe the little angel here can
the
sing.
little one, she sings very nice. Because now she's shy.
It's free of charge, the stage, unless you want to charge us as your audience, but the stage is free. You can take it.
Yeah, stage is free, Aradhya.